Hello from Future Travel Experience Global in Los Angeles. Right now, I'm delighted to be joined by Amber Simonsen, Director, Airport Lobby Transformation at Alaska Airlines. Amber, thank you very much for joining us.
Of course, thanks for having us.
And you've just delivered a fantastic presentation in the FTE Global conference today on how dynamic new approaches are driving a sub 5 minute lobby experience across the Alaska Airlines airport network. Can you share some of the key takeaways from your presentation today?
Sure, absolutely. I think one of the things to think about is what we're trying to achieve in our airport lobbies. And we see that the lobby experience is very inconsistent depending on the size of the airport. It's also something where you never quite know how long it's going to take to come into the lobby, to drop a bag and make your way to security. So one of the goals of what the work we're doing in order to get to a 5 minute experience is to reduce the stress, reduce the anxiety, and to move one of the parts that was causing the most anxiety, which is check-in, and actually put that back where you can do it in the comfort of your own home. You can do it on your cell phone at your leisure right before your flight.
And can you share a bit more about that mobile first strategy and how that really transforms how passengers interact with the airline?
It really does. What we've been able to do as we move check-in to before airport arrival is that now we don't need kiosks. And so while we were one of the very first airlines to put in kiosks, we're actually one of the first to take them out. And we've put in an iPad-based solution where we just print bag tags. And that's been really key to help people have a quick experience if they're dropping a bag. And if they're not dropping a bag, they can simply skip the lobby altogether and head straight to security.
Okay, and what kind of response or feedback have you had to not having the paper boarding passes?
It's really interesting. I get asked this question a lot, whether people are accepting that. And I think one of the things that we saw after the pandemic is just the explosion of cell phone usage and comfort for people of all generations, all backgrounds. And so we've seen really impressive use. When we started this work, we probably saw somewhere between 50 and 60% of our guests using mobile boarding passes. Now we're where we've deployed this new process and these new iPads, we're actually at 80%.
Fantastic. Yeah, and you mentioned that 80% figure, so I
Mhm.
understand the results are particularly impressive in that area. Can you share a few more details on that?
Sure, absolutely. So when we have that many guests who are checking in with their mobile boarding pass, many of them, the half that does not check bags, again, they are able to go straight to security and have a really great experience. Those that are coming to our lobbies are able to use one of our bag take stations, and they have a 45-second transaction on average. So that means some are faster, some are a little bit slower, depending on how many bags you're adding, or if you chose to pay for your bags at the airport, or if you paid prior to arrival. And so as a guest comes into our area, whether they're in a large hub like Seattle or a small airport like Medford, Oregon, they're able to have a very quick experience. They can tag their bag and then they can proceed to an agent to drop. And part of the work that I talked about in my session is in our hubs going from an agent drop to an automated bag drop in the future.
Okay, and what advice would you have for other airlines that may be considering transforming their lobby experience in a similar way?
I think it's interesting. Moving check in to that pre airport experience for more people has really been fantastic. Guests really seem to like it. They like the control that they have to take care of any issues, seat assignments, perhaps any errors that might pop up before arriving at the airport so they can have a better day of travel. So I would really encourage my colleagues to consider that as well. And I think the more the airline industry streamlines that lobby experience and makes better use of the constrained airports that we have, the better the day of travel is going to be for everyone.
Fantastic. And finally, how has your experience been here at FTE Global and what have you most enjoyed about the event?
Oh, it's really fantastic. I think getting to chat with airline colleagues, vendors, as well as airport professionals, I'm learning a lot. I think seeing those common themes of creating calm and reducing anxiety in the airport has been really fantastic to hear from various colleagues, as well as just hear perspectives about emerging technologies like biometrics as we're going down that road, and very encouraging to just hear from the experts.
That's fantastic.
Mhm.
And thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with our audience.
You bet.